And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome here to Darton State College, Cavalier Field, where we are in Championship Saturday as the number 1 seed Darton Cavaliers and the number 2 seed South Georgia Hawks play for a championship today. Mike Flowers joined by Commissioner David Elder. Well, David, we're here. We finally made it to Saturday.
We did. We started on Wednesday with 6 teams, and through the course of 3 days, we have whittled it down to the final 2, and as should be, the number 1 and 2 seed are battling it out for the GCAA Region 17 Championship. So both of these schools, here's a plus. Both of these schools, Mike, will go next week to the district. We're just looking to see here who's going to be the number 1 seed and number 2 seed. So we're getting ready to get started, folks. Glad you're joining us today. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. Sit back, enjoy. We've got some good baseball coming to you.
Center fielder Kendall Herron steps into the plate. Drew Johns on the hill for South Georgia, and that's in there for a strike. Drew Johns is a 6'3", 260-pound sophomore out of Hazelhurst, Georgia, Davis County. Pop foul out of play. Darton is the only undefeated team. They only have to win 1 today to win the championship. South Georgia has to basically sweep a doubleheader if they wish to win. But again, both teams will be playing next week. We're playing for seeding, but we're also playing for the one to really say, hey, champion here.
Exactly, because the champion, regular season champion, gets that ability to host when we host district years, but the tournament champion is the one that collects that hardware and gets to keep it in their trophy case.
And we have that hardware behind us here. That one is down in the dirt. Low, 2-2 the count.
You know, Mike, right now we're at the point. I mean, look at Darton. Darton's 38-18 overall, 21-7 during the regular conference season. South Georgia State 37-21, 20-8 during the conference. So, man, you're equally matched.
To the shortstop, and it takes a high hop. And that's going to be a single. Herron's going to try for second, and he's going to go in there standing. So what was basically an infield hit is now going to turn into a double. And Darton has a runner in scoring position here.
Well, really, Mike, would have been probably would have been an out. Because, I mean, just a normal hop. That's a base hit.
Yeah, there was nothing the shortstop could do on that one right there. Chandler Rogers, that one just again, was hitting right to him, just hit something in the infield and popped up.
Yeah, you can't force an error on a bad out there.
Yeah, like I say, watch it again here on the replay. He was down in good position in front of it. And, I mean, all of a sudden it took that high chop over his head. So that brings up Colton Thomas, the left fielder. Top of the first inning here, runner on second. And again, if you're wondering why Darton is at bat here at the top of the first, it's because of that coin toss. South Georgia State won the coin toss, so they're the home team in this one.
First 2 days, we always go with the highest seed, and then after that, we go to the coin toss.
Big Drew Johns checks the runner at second to the plate. That one's low, gets by the catcher, and Herron will go into third safely. So now a sac fly or just a ground out to the infield may bring in a run here. Darton looking to break on top. These two teams played one heck of a ball game yesterday, 11-8.
Oh, wow. That was, guys, if you missed yesterday's broadcast with that was a game to be seen. You can go back on the archives and see it, though, if you did miss it.
Grounded foul on the first baseline. The Tyler Morris 3-run homer after they intentionally walked John Cable. And Morris came up and just cracked it out of the park.
Well, quick little preview on that was that Darton jumped out to a 7-1 lead. South Georgia State fought back, took the lead, and then there was a 3-run homer that was no doubt about when it came off the bat.
And that one is into center field, and that's going to get to the wall. Thomas around second. He's going to third, and he's going to make it in there. So 1-0 Darton, a double and now a triple. And the Cavaliers are on top here. No doubt about that one. Beautiful sunny day. Wind is blowing from right to left, not blowing as hard as yesterday.
And there the triple from our GCAA Player of the Year, John Cable. He racked up a little hardware, not only Player of the Year, but Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, was that Colton Thomas? Oh, my apologies.
23 and not 21.
I jumped the gun there a little bit.
Denzel Gowdy's to the plate, third baseman. Denzel put a charge in one yesterday. Runner on third, nobody out, 1-0, Darton on top.
My apologies to Colton Thomas. Don't want to slide him for that triple.
One and 0 the count here to the third baseman, Gowdy. That pitch is inside, 2-0. Johns looks in. That one's outside. 3-0 to count. Johns checks the runner at third. To the plate, that one's in there for a strike. Gowdy taking all the way. Again, top of the first inning here. Cavaliers are on top, 1-0. They have a runner on third in scoring position. And that one's going to be hitting the hole to the shortstop, and it gets by him, and that's going to be a base hit for Gowdy and an RBI, and it is 2-0 Darton. Good diving attempt by Chandler Rogers. Boy, he's had an interesting top of the first already.
Yes, he has.
Couldn't flag that one down, and even if he did, the runner was going to score from third. So now, Player of the Year John Cable will step to the plate. And now there's going to be a conversation here at the mound as Jeff Timothy tries to settle his pitcher down. Fans want to remind you, if you want a copy of any or all games of the 2016 GCAA baseball tournament, get unlimited downloads and everything we broadcast for an entire year for only $19.99. Yes, become a Jock Jive Premium Channel member, and you have access to everything we cover. To sign up today, go to jockjive.com and click on Subscribe to Jock Jive Sports. So John Cable steps to the plate, runner at first, 2 in already. Dave, I know I'm jumping the gun here, but there is no run rule in a championship game. Is that correct?
You and I have been around each other long enough. We start thinking in the same processes. You're exactly right. I was trying to determine when to bring that up. But anytime you get to a championship game, that run rule that we normally have during the course of the tournament is not in play.
First pitch to Cable is in there for a strike. Not saying we'll get there, but want to make sure we cover everything. So if fans are tuning in and say, "Hey, it's 10-1 in the fifth and it's over," no,
we'll go full 9.
We're going full 9. Pop foul out of play by Cable. I may be mistaken, but somehow I get the impression this will be a closer ball game. These two teams seem to play those.
Well, they were Coach Hemmings and Coach Timothy were talking last night during the coin flip. We've already played each other 6 times. Well, this will be number 7.
Cable to center field, and that's going to get down to the wall. And Cable's going to cruise into second. They're going to wave Gowdy all the way around, and he's going to come in to score from first, and Cable with an RBI double. And it's 3-0.
Well, Coach Hemmings was going to hold Gowdy up at third on this, but then last night's pitcher, Zach Refuse, is back out in center field. He bobbled it. And then Coach Hemmings, you'll see right here at the last minute, gives him the go sign to head home.
Cable hit that one in gap. It kind of died out there in the grass before it got to the warning track. And like I say, Zach Refuse didn't pick it up cleanly, and Denzel Gowdy just kept motoring. So now Tyler Morris, the hero from yesterday for Darton. 3-4-0 already. First 4 batters have reached. Popped up, and that's going to get foul out of play. So what should have been an out, a ground ball that bounced and turned into a double. Thomas with a triple, Denzel Gowdy with a single, now Cable with a double.
Boy, you wonder if that first play was ominous of what we're going to have for the course of the day for South Georgia State. And if you're tuning in from Douglas, you hope that's not true.
Grounded up to the second baseman. He has it on a hop. Boyette over the Michael Flores at first, so the out is recorded. Cable advances to third, and that's going to bring up shortstop Michael Huggins.
Number 6, Mike Huggins.
First out in the inning recorded there after 4 consecutive base hits. Runner on third here. 3 already in for the Cavaliers. That pitches, gets by. Cable's going to come charging home, and he is going to score without a play, and it's now 4-0. So every one of the first 4 have come across and scored a run. And you watch that. That one got by the catcher there, Jacob Schmidt. Again, that one went by the catcher, couldn't corral it. So 4-0, Darton on top here. That one's popped to center field. Center fielder couldn't get it. Refuse was tracking it, and it went over his head. Huggins is going to stand up with a second base, so he's on. I don't know what happened to the center fielder that time. It looked like he had it, and then all of a sudden it just got over his glove.
Well, I think he took a bad angle on it, Mike. And if you do that, if you miss by just a couple degrees on that, you're going to miss the ball, and that's what happened. You see, he started going sideways instead of slight tailing backwards, and that's what he did. He took a bad angle on that.
And again, the wind is blowing from right to left, so the wind may have had a little carry on that one. So right fielder Landon Crowder to the plate.
Well, either Darton's seeing the ball really well, or South Georgia is just serving it up to him right now.
Well, Drew Johns has not been a mystery for the Cavaliers here in the top of the first. 4 big runs already in. That pitch is outside. 2-0 the count. They gave Huggins a hit on that one, so 5 hits in the inning. That pitch is low, 3-0.
And I would too, even though Fuse took a bad angle. You can't guarantee, even with a correct angle, that he would have made the play, so you've got to give him the hit.
So right fielder Landon Crowder in there for a strike, taking all the way, 3-1. Crowder from Vestavia Hills, Alabama, 6'2", 180-pound freshman. And that's high, and he draws a walk. So runners will be at first and second. And that's going to bring up Matt Harmon, the designated hitter.
Well, Mike, while we got a break, I just want to thank you guys. Thank Jock Jive. Of course, Robert's not here, and we'll go thank him anyway. But thank you and James Crenshaw. We're going to have a change here. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and, James, let's go ahead and go to break, and we'll come back and we'll finish this conversation up when we get back. How about that?
This is the GCA Sports Network. This is the GCA Sports Network as we're getting a pitching change here, and Coach Jeff Timothy quickly getting the hook here. And number 5 is coming in to pitch, Deion Simpson. So we'll have a change of pitchers here. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this with the Giant. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
One right here. One outside.
Mosley. Now with 20 in the game. She's been the head coach. But she's done her part for the season.
Hey, well, now that we're back, we appreciate everybody that's tuned in over the course of the tournament, and want to thank you guys for helping us, giving us the ability to put this on. Just an FYI, we had 3,500 viewers yesterday, and had close to that on the previous day. So, we're providing a service to people that can't get here and see family members or friends or relatives, things of that nature. So we appreciate what you guys do. And, Mike, I know you're here locally, but you also come all across the state of Georgia to help us with our other tournaments, and we appreciate that. And James, man, I can't say enough about James Crenshaw. He gives you people at home the different views, great angles, and I think James is second to none for doing this. And thank you guys once again. I want to tell everybody that.
We had several people this morning come up to me and tell me how much they appreciated the broadcast as we were walking in, and though they weren't the ones watching it, they had family members who were tuning in, watching their grandchildren or relative play. The first pitch to Harmon from Deion Simpson, who is in the ball game now. Simpson, 5'10", 190, out of Roswell, Georgia. So Coach Jeff Timothy having to go to the bullpen early. Drew Johns just didn't have it this morning. That pitch is low. 2-0 the count.
Well, if you're South Georgia State and you were hoping to play 2 games, in which you still can, but that's not a good start when you're having to go to your second pitcher with only 1 out in the first inning.
Simpson checks the runner at second. To the plate, inside, 3-0. Well, so Harmon here is in the driver's seat. He can either be swinging at something he likes or will take all the way. And he's taking all the way on that one, making him throw a strike. 3-1. First and second, 4 already in. Only 1 out in the inning.
Well, if I'm Harmon right here, I'm looking for my pitch in the zone that I'm looking for.
And that one is low, and Harmon will draw a walk. So the bases are going to be loaded for second baseman Cody Ilgenfritz. So Cody, who has hit a solo shot here in this tournament, 5'9", 155-pounder out of Camden County. That pitch is high, 1-0. And Simpson having difficulty finding the plate. Runners get a good lead. That pitch is high, 2-0. Well, there's no place to put Ilgenfritz. Bases are full of Cavaliers.
Well, Cody being from Camden County on the east coast of Georgia, he's had the grand luxury of dealing with both kinds of South Georgia gnats. The ones on the west side that just buzz you, and the ones on the east side that eat you up.
Yeah, those sand gnats on the east side are pretty tough. 2-1 to count here as that pitch is in for a strike to Ilgenfritz. And this time he hits it to the right fielder, who takes a couple steps over. Runner tags from third. Throw is into the second base. And the runner from second moves to third, so another run scores. And it's now 5-0. So Ilgenfritz with a sac fly, RBI. So 2 out now in the inning, and Kendall Herron back at the plate, who's got all this started here with the ball that bounced high over the second baseman that he turned into a leadoff double. Yeah, you know you're having a good inning when you get to bat that second time.
Yes.
And you haven't even taken the field yet. 5-5-0 for the Cavaliers. First pitch to Kendall Herron is in there for a strike.
Yeah, you always know, as a former player, you always know that you're doing something right or they're doing everything wrong when you get to bat around in an inning.
Simpson, runners at first and third, checks at first. That pitch is in there for a strike, so he's ahead of Kendall Herron, 0-2. There is activity down in the South Georgia bullpen. Number 9, Brent Wilcox, warming up. Foul back to the screen. So for Jeff Timothy, Johnny Allstaff today for his team.
You're exactly right. That we mentioned before, once you get this far along in the tournament, if you can throw strikes and you got an arm and you hadn't thrown more than 4 or 5 innings, you're good to go again.
The 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Schmidt, the catcher. But the runner goes from first to second. But that saved the run as the runner from third had to hold there.
And, Mike, those qualifications that I was just telling everybody also apply to position players.
The 1-2 pitch. Foul back to the screen. Still 1-2. 5 already in for Darton here. And they're half of the first. The pitch, breaking pitch, just high, 2-2 the count.
Well, when we had the coin flip last night, Jeff Timothy won the coin flip, and he really was wanting to be the visiting team. And he had that option, but he took the home. I'm wondering right now if he had thought, well, maybe I should have gone ahead and deferred.
The 2-2 pitch. Sky to the center fielder, refused, a couple of steps in, camps under it. And the inning finally comes to an end, but Darton, they put 5 runs on the board. They strand 2. And we go to the bottom of the first, 5-0 Cavaliers. This is the GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this with the Giant. He's got running room. Midfield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here. Punch outside.
Mosley. Now with 20 in the game. As long as she's been the head coach. But she's done her part for the season.
And we're back here at the bottom of the first inning. And we'd like to thank our sponsors here who support GCA Athletics. Diamond Baseball, our official ball sponsor of the GCAA and our tournament. We appreciate their support. And our State Farm Good Neighbor agent, Andy Cristo, here in Albany, Georgia. Give Andy a call at 229-888-0007. That's 229-888-0007. Andy Cristo, your State Farm Good Neighbor agent here in Albany. Well, Taylor Farringer is in the envious position of having a 5-run lead as he takes the mound for the first time.
Well, here's what you want to do. You want to throw strikes. With a 5-run lead, throw strikes, get your outs. Let's go.
Chandler Rogers, the shortstop, leads it off. That one is cut and fouled off of John Capel, the catcher. And now the professional courtesy of the catcher and the umpire as the umpire goes out and wants to look at the ball and talks to Farringer and says, hey, how's your mom and dad, and all this good stuff, and gives Cable a chance to regain himself here. Rogers, again, interesting top of the first for him as he had a couple of wicked hits and strange balls hit to him. So now the 0-1 pitch about to be made to the shortstop for the Hawks. And that one is hit to right field, and that'll get in for a base hit. So Rogers is leading it off with a single. So now let's see what the Hawks will do. Cameron Coffey will step to the plate next, the right fielder. Farringer, 6 foot, 170 pound sophomore out of Tatnall Square Academy in Macon. Coffey, left-handed batter. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. Again, a beautiful day for baseball here. There's not a cloud anywhere to be found. And we've got that northwest breeze blowing again today. Flag is flying out. And that's to the left fielder. And he tracks it and grabs it for the first out. That was hit right to Colton Thomas. He didn't even really have to move a half a step. So out number 1 here for the Hawks. That'll bring up their big first baseman, Michael Flores. Rogers gets a good lead from first. And that was right to the first baseman. Morris, line drive, steps on the bag for the unassisted double play.
Not what you expect if you're South Georgia State, and as a result, you see it right here. It's an easy double play.
5-0 Darton. Top of the second coming up. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Infield kicks it in, 40, got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley, play of the game. She's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Deion Simpson completing his warm-up tosses here. 5-0 Darton on top as they struck with crooked numbers here in the top of the first inning. Simpson came on in relief of Drew Johns. Got the final out. Let's see what he does here as Colton Thomas, who tripled in that first inning, scored a run and drove in a run, is leading it off for the Cavaliers. 5-0 here already, Darton. Simpson's first pitch. Thomas taking all the way in their first strike, 0-1.
Beautiful day here in Albany. 84 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Got a good breeze, just perfect.
Thomas pops it to the second baseman, and it gets over the head of Boyette. And Thomas is going to get in there with a single.
Boyette got tired up, couldn't decide which way to turn. Turned one way and then tried to regroup and turn the other way, and that just allowed it to get over his head for a base hit.
He ran a circle route there and could not get the ball. So Gowdy steps to the plate. He singled, scored a run, and driven in a run. And the first pitch to Gowdy is out of the zone, 1-0. Well, if you're a Darton fan, you're pretty happy. Everything is going your direction at this time. That pitch is high to Gowdy. Thomas stays put at first.
Well, Mike, you know, we've seen enough sports over the years. As the old country saying, some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug.
Runner goes from first. Throw down to second, and he's safe. So Thomas steals a base. 2-1 the count to the batter as the pitch was outside. So right now, Darton being aggressive, stealing a base. So the 2-1 pitch to Denzel Gowdy. That pitch is low, 3-1. Runner stands at second. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Simpson checks the runner at second. To the plate, it's in there for a strike. Full count now to Denzel Gowdy. Again, glad you've joined us here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, a bluebird day here. Simpson has the runner picked. He falls down. Toss is going to be late.
Wow.
Thomas got hung up in a rundown, and then Simpson fell to the ground, tossed it to the third baseman, and Thomas got in there safely.
Watch Thomas right here. We couldn't see it from that angle, but he put the old football halfback move, a little moving and shaking. Watch it right here.
A little juke and got in there to third base. 3-2 pitch to Galley, and it's hit to the third baseman. Henson over to first. Flores gets the low throw, but the out is recorded. Thomas has to stay at third, 1 out.
And the catcher, John Cable.
Again, you watched the replay there to third baseman, Chase Henson. So now player of the year, John Cable, who scored a run, drove in a run with a double his first plate appearance. That pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 to Cable. Now, Colton Thomas may have a few moves on the dance floor after watching that replay. And that one gets Cable square in the lower back. So, again, Cable hit by the pitch. The catcher is wondering, I get it on defense, and now I'm getting it on offense. Tyler Morris, the first baseman, to the plate.
Let me show you the strength of these two teams here, Mike. 7 of our first-team all-conference players are from either one of these teams. So they're representing the conference very well.
Morris with an RBI opportunity here. First and third, only 1 out. That pitch is just outside, 1-0.
Funny little note yesterday, Morris had a little mental error on defense and allowed 2 runs, but he made up for it with the 3-run homer. Coach Hemmings told him he was only up +1 now, so not to get too big ahead.
That pitch is outside, 2-0. I believe Coach Hemming and I know the Cavalier players we talked to after the game yesterday up here in the press box were very relieved they were playing it only at 12 today and not that second game last night. Outside, 3-0.
Anytime you get in the loser's bracket, it's just an uphill battle to get there. And you really control your own destiny when you're in the winner's bracket and undefeated.
3-0 pitch about to be made to first baseman Tyler Morris, taking all the way, and that's a walk. So Morris, his base on ball loads the bases for Mike Huggins, who doubled in his first plate appearance. Darton threatening to add more here in their half of the second. That pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 to count. That was a high strike that time by our home plate umpire. Simpson's pitch, low, 1-1 to count.
You know, Mike, both of these coaches already know who the Tennessee reps are. You wonder if there's anything that factors in of who they would rather start out playing. Now, don't get me wrong there. They're not going to give up winning a championship, but you also have that little factor in the back as well.
And that pitch is in there for a strike, 1-2. Yeah, I'm sure these coaches have looked at matchups and who they, how they're going to get, who's going to pitch and what they're going to do. So, but again, the overriding thing is you want to win that championship if you're a competitor. I'm pretty sure.
Sure, but you look at the polls. Walter State's been ranked in the top 10 all season. Dyersburg's been in the middle of the top 20.
That's grounded to the second baseman. He scoops it over the first one, but the runner from third scores Colton Thomas. It's now 6-0. Watch the replay here as the second baseman Boyette grabbed it over to Flores, but Thomas on the move. So 6-0 here. Darton on top of this one as they get another run here in the second inning. And that's going to bring up Landon Crowder, who walked his first plate appearance. Runner still at second and third, but now 2 outs in the inning. Well, Dave, it's all going to be academic here if Darton keeps pounding runs in because they're looking pretty strong here to start this game.
Well, they had a 7-1 lead yesterday against this South Georgia State Hawks team, and that didn't last.
Up to middle to the shortstop. Rogers high hop over to first in plenty of time. So the Cavaliers, they do strand 2, but they get another run. We'll go to the bottom of the second. 6-0 Cavaliers on top. GCA Sports Network powered by Jock Jive. Bottom of the second inning, Taylor Farringer's team has put another run on the board. It is now 6-0. And Farringer getting his warm-up tosses complete. Again, it's championship Saturday here between Darton and South Georgia State. These two teams had a absolutely great game yesterday, 11-8. Darton won it. So, as Dave mentioned earlier, a 6-run lead is not insurmountable as the Hawks came back from a 7-1 deficit yesterday.
And you're exactly right. That was one interesting ball game. We saw a little bit of everything in that game as well.
So Zach Refuse, who pitched a great ball game last night to get South Georgia State in this one, as he did a complete game victory over East Georgia last night. So Refuse steps in there. And that pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 to count.
Well, we'll be back here starting next Wednesday for the East Central District Baseball Championship. Number 1 and 2 seed be determined on the field today from Georgia. The number 1 and 2 seed from Tennessee, Region 7, number 1 seed Dyersburg State champion, and number 2 seed Walters State for a 4-team district championship, with the winner going to Grand Junction, Colorado.
Farringer's 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1 to count.
So we'll be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Unfortunately, we won't have this web stream unless we have some, as they say, manna from heaven, and some sponsor want to cover the cost of that.
To the shortstop, Huggins backs up, bobbles it, and cannot make the play. That one just ate him up there. He was in trouble immediately when he backed up, and that allows the leadoff batter Refuse to get on base.
But what we will do, Mike, we will keep the East Central District Tournament updated on the GCA website and on Twitter. So,
well, again, if a sponsor is out there and wishes to sponsor, give us a call at 229-938-8485 or contact us through the website at info@JockJive, and we'll be glad to get something worked out. It's not too late. So a runner on first for Kruger, the left fielder. Morris holds the runner at first. Farringer's pitch popped out of play, foul.
Unfortunately, the GCAA is not affiliated with Trump Inc., and we don't have unlimited funds, and so we allot a certain amount each year to cover all our championship tournaments. But once that's
well, I just want to say something. Your hair is a lot better than Donald's. So
my lack of hair.
So anyhow, I just want to get that one out there. Farringer steps off the hill, now steps back on the rubber. Over the first, Refuse back safely.
I'm comfortable that I've become a little, not a lot, a little follically challenged.
That pitch is grounded up the middle, and that's going to get through for a base hit. So South Georgia back-to-back hits here. They have something going in their half of the second inning.
Here it is again.
Well, David, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Having gone through chemotherapy and having lost all my hair, I am sure glad it has come back. And hey, anything up there is a blessing and a bonus.
Well, we're glad you.
So being follicle challenged is not a bad place to be.
Well, we're happy that you survived that cancer incident. There's a bunt back to the pitcher.
Over the first in plenty of time, so the sacrifice Boyette works. So runners at second and third now with one out, and that's going to bring up big Jalen Jackson, the 6'5", 280-pound designated hitter.
Well, we were talking earlier, man, he is as they say, he is a man-child. He is huge. He is his own area code, and each one of those shoes is probably its own zip code. He could be a tight end on a football team.
First pitch is in there for a ball, 1-0 to count.
Defensive end.
A base hit here could mean 2 for the Hawks. Second and third, runners get their lead. Farringer's pitch, that is grounded foul out of play. 1-1 to count. Yeah, it goes without saying, if he gets hold of one, he's got enough power to put one out of here with ease.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if high school, if he wasn't a three-sport athlete, football, basketball, and baseball at that size. I'm sure every coach was trying to grab him, either to get him on the field or on the court.
Yeah, he had an entourage down the hall, and it was the coaches. Hey, you want to be center? You want to be tight end? You want to be first baseman? You want to throw the shot put? That one's fouled out of play. 1-2 the count. So Jackson down in the count here, 1-2. He spreads out in that box. And that one's, again, got a piece of it, stays alive in the count.
Well, he guessed wrong and did just enough to fight it off there.
At 1-2 count here, and the disembodied voice said if you look at Mr. Jackson, you can tell he is working out. He is not a overweight young man by any stretch. He is in shape. Steps out of the box again. Now we got that little cat and mouse game between the pitcher and the batter. Farringer shakes off a sign. Still shakes off a sign, and now Cable has to go out, and they got to get together here. That's what we've been having a problem with, is the pitcher and the catcher have not been able to come up with a sign. The batter is calling time, so.
Well, the best thing is you've got to have your battery there on the same frequency, on the same channel, because you call for a curveball and there comes a fastball. Man, that's.
And obviously Farringer has something in mind that he wanted to throw to big Mr. Jackson. Runners get their lead. That one, check swing, and he's out. A check swing, but the ball hit him. And KC, our home plate umpire, calls him out. So let's watch it again here. Yeah, he took a complete swing. So now Coach Jeff Timothy is going to ask the umpire. So he was swinging and the ball hit him. So now we're going to have an explanation here, and now the conversation is still going between the umpire and the head coach of South Georgia State.
Remember yesterday we had, wasn't it with the Jones and the catcher that were jawing a little bit, and
yes, we
they
did. We
shut
had
it
a
off.
little something going on there.
So we probably had a little bit again continuation there, because Coach Hemmings came out and was talking to his catcher too, and catcher Cable had his hands out, so there was some jawing going on. And
well, Jackson is out on a strikeout. Runners remain at second and third, and now that's going to bring up third baseman Chase Henson for his first plate appearance. That pitch gets away from Cable a couple of feet. Runners cannot advance. 1-0 the count. I just can't imagine what Cable and Jackson are talking about. But
well, the question is if he has
something from the season may have boiled over here into the tournament. Popped up. Everybody converging. Right fielder coming in. He calls him off, and he grabs it for the third out there. So South Georgia State, they strand two here. And we'll go to the top of the third inning, still 6-0 Darton. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this one. He's got running room. Midfield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on topside.com.
Mosley. Now in the game. Oh, she's been the head coach. But she's done her part for the season.
And we're here at the top of the third inning. 6-0, Darton on top. Fans want to remind you, if you want a copy of any or all games of the 2016 GCAA baseball tournament, you can get unlimited downloads of everything that Jock Jive broadcasts for an entire year for only $19.99. Yes, become a Jock Jive Premium Channel member, and you have access to everything we cover. To sign up today, go to our website at jockjive.com and click on subscribe to Jock Jive Sports. So Dion Simpson about to complete his warm-up tosses. And Matt Harmon, the designated hitter, to lead it off here for the Cavaliers, who are up 6-0. 6 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Cavaliers. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Hawks. So here we are at the top of the third inning. Simpson on relief, bunted. Simpson quickly off the mound. Good play, lobs it to first to Flores in plenty of time, and Harmon is out. So Simpson got off the mound and ease that the ball was bunted back to him. And that's going to bring up Cody Ilgenfritz, the second baseman, who drove in a run with a sacrifice fly, his first plate appearance. First pitch is high to Ilgenfritz. Again, Cody out of Camden County. Simpson's pitch, that was high. 2-0 count. Simpson wants to keep it right here for his South Georgia Hawk team. They can ill afford to give up many more runs. That one's high, 3-0. 5 in the first for Darton, 1 in the second, and that's where we're at here. That pitch is in there for a strike. So a 3-1 count here to the Ilgenfritz with 1 out in the inning. And he fouls it back to the screen. So a full count now to the Cavaliers' second baseman. Kendall Herron waits on deck. Simpson's 3-2 pitch, pop foul down the first base line, out of play. So we'll do it again. Again, we've got a good breeze blowing from right field to left, so anything hit to left center will get a little boost. That pitch is low to Ilgenfritz, so he will walk. That puts a runner on first now, 1 out for Kendall Herron. So again, when you get a shot from at center field, you see the flag out there waving proudly. And now Coach Jeff Timothy is coming out, and well, we have another pitching change, and yes, we will have another pitching change as South Georgia will make a change here. This is the GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this for the Giants. He's got running room. Midfield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley now with 20 in the game. Well, she's been the head coach, so she's done her part for the season.
New pitcher in for South Georgia State. That's number 9, Brett Wilcox, 5'10", 180-pound freshman out of Jeff Davis in Hazelhurst, Georgia. So Kendall Herron steps to the plate here. Runner on first, 1 out, new pitcher in. That one is low, 1-0 to count. Only 1 out in the inning here. Again, Darton with 5 in the first, 1 in the second. Trying to add more here in their half of the third. That one catches the corner out. there, 1-1 to count. So the third pitcher of the ball game for the Hawks here in the third inning. Breaking pitches to the third baseman. Henson to second for one. That's all they're going to get as Boyette wisely held on to it, so they get the force. And that's going to bring up Colton Thomas here.
The left fielder, Colton Thomas.
Boy, great play there. Had to really jump.
The runner was sliding right into the bag. The second baseman wanted to make the turn but couldn't. So wise decision. That one is skied high down the right field line. And
That's gone.
And it's out of here.
We didn't know if it was going to be fair or not, and it stayed fair.
It stayed fair, and all of a sudden, Colton Thomas has put a charge in one. A 2-run homer. It's now 8-0. Let's watch the replay again as that one kind of gets out of our line of sight here, but it went right down the line.
He opened the hips, dropped the barrel of the bat down, and he got it, and the question was whether it was going to stay fair or not.
And it did. So Gowdy to the plate. Off-speed pitch, 1-0. So Brent Wilcox greeted with a 2-run homer.
Well, that's not the kind of greeting I want.
Another breaking pitch. This one gets in the zone, 1-1 the count. That's not what Coach Jeff Timothy had in mind either. Pop foul out of play, 1-2. Nobody on, 2 out here, 2 in for the Cavaliers in the top of the third. Gowdy swings and misses. That ends the inning, but not before the Cavaliers put 2 more on the board on the 2-run homer by Colton Thomas. And we'll watch it one more time as he stroked that one right down the right field line. 8-0 Darton. This is the GCA Sports Network powered by Jock Jive.
Infield kicks it in, 40, got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley, now is playing the game. Well, she's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Well, the Cavaliers have added 2 more runs here. They've extended the lead to 8-0. Bottom of the third inning for South Georgia State, and South Georgia State has to get the bats going. They've got to start putting something on the board to whittle into this lead. Again, championship Saturday here. If Darton wins, they are the champions as they are undefeated in the tournament. So South Georgia State come back. We'll have an if game following this one. And catcher Jacob Schmidt to lead it off. Bottom of the third here for the Hawks. Schmidt, first pitch is outside, 1-0 the count. 8 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Cavaliers. No runs, only 2 hits, no errors for the South Georgia Hawks. And that one is up the middle, and that's a solid single for Schmidt. So that'll bring up the top of the order with Chandler Rogers, the shortstop.
The shortstop, Chandler Rogers.
A good solid right back up the middle there by the catcher. Farringer's pitch. And that one is up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. So 2 consecutive singles, and the Hawks have something going here in the third inning.
3 of their 4 hits have been right back up the pipe.
Right fielder, Cameron Kaufman.
So runners at first and second. Cameron Coffey, the right fielder. Rogers is 2 for 2 in the ball game. That's his second base hit. Farringer bunted. Pitcher quickly off the mound, takes the easy play to first, and the out is recorded there. He did not even look any other bag. He just wanted to get the out with the 8-run lead.
Here's the thing, and you got a lot of good point right there. But it's Cable's job to tell him where to go, and I didn't hear Cable yelling anything. And he had the guy at third. He really did. But you're right, with an 8-run lead, let's say he threw it away. All of a sudden he throws it away. 2 runs scores. You got a runner on second. Then it's 8-2. So that changes the complexion.
So Michael Flores at the plate. Second and third, 1 out here. Farringer to the plate. Way out in front of that one was Flores. 0-1 to count. Took something off there. The 0-1 pitch. Popped up foul. That one's going to get out over the first base dugout. So 0-2, Flores down in the count. Yeah, Dave, that's a good point about the catcher being the traffic cop there. We got a great mic that picks everything up. We did not hear a thing out of that mic when that play was going on. And a called third strike. Flores never got the bat off his shoulder, and he is mad as a hornet as he walks back to the dugout. That was an important RBI opportunity, and he just took that pitch.
Well, umpire Casey Smith, home plate umpire, stared at him the whole time and was. I think if he had turned around and said something, I think he might have gotten the leash thrown at him.
So Zach Refuse now steps to the plate, who's singled in his only plate appearance. Cable blocks the pitch, and they say he went around on the swing there. 0-1 the count. Yeah, if you watch the replay, he was mad talking as he walked out toward the dugout. But he didn't turn around. He kept walking. And and again, you've said it before, as long as you don't show up the umpire, you can say a few things. But when you make it personal or you show them up, that's trouble.
And, Flores' first swing was an awful swing. He was guessing and guessed wrong. And so he put himself in the hole, and then the strikeout, he didn't like that.
0-2 pitch. Cut on and missed. They say he got a tip of it, but Cable holds on, so South Georgia State, they strand 2 in their half of the third. As we watch the replay here, just got a piece of it. Cable held on to it. This is the GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Infield kicks it in, 40, got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
One right here on topside.com.
Mosley, now with 20 in the game. She's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Well, we go to the top of the fourth here. Darton is on top of this one 8-0. And they have been in control all the way. Brent Wilcox was greeted rudely last inning with a 2-run homer by Colton Thomas. And now John Cable to the plate.
It doesn't get any easier. You start off the inning with the player of the year.
Cable, Morris, and Huggins, the 3 up for the Cavaliers. Cable has been doubled and hit by a pitch. That one is low, 1-0 the count.
4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Cavaliers this inning.
And that one is in the right field, and that's going to get in for a base hit. So Cable with a solid single. He has a single and a double now on his day.
Boy, that's a pretty little swing by Cable. Watch it right here. Just head down on, bat on the ball. Gosh, that's nice.
So first baseman Tyler Morris, who has walked in his 2 plate appearances. Wilcox to the plate. That one's out. Gets by the catcher. Schmidt throw down to second, and he lost the ball. The second baseman, Boyette, couldn't handle it. The throw beat him, but Boyette couldn't handle it. It got away, not very far. Schmidt.
Boy, a good throw from Schmidt. And, of course, Cable being a catcher. Catchers are not typically known as being swift of foot.
Cut on and missed by Morris. Well, the ball beat him there, but the second baseman could not hang on to it as Cable slid in there, so he's at second. 1-1 pitch about to be made to Morris, and that's in there for a strike, 1-2. Nobody out here. Runner again in scoring position. We've kind of sent that a lot at Darton's at bats here. 5 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. Now they're batting in the fourth. That pitch is outside, 2-2. Again, the flag blowing straight out now. Anything hit the left field is going to get a ride. Down the line, and that's going to be fair. Cable is going to come chugging around third. Morris is going to go in with a stand-up double, and it is now 9-0.
Boy, Morris roped that right down the line. You'll see it right here on the replay.
The shortstop, Mike Huggins.
Diving attempt there, unable to come up with it in the left field corner. Another run for Darton.
So that brings up Huggins, the shortstop. He has a double in his 2 plate appearances. Nobody out in the inning. 1 run already in. Runner at second. To the shortstop. Picks it up cleanly over the first, and it's safe. The throw drew Flores off the bag. And Flores may have hurt himself there as he tried to make that move on the tag. So they're checking on Michael Flores there to make sure he's okay. And they're also checking on Huggins to make sure he's all right. So everybody's fine. As though it's a bad throw by the shortstop. That's an error, and that's going to allow Huggins to reach first.
The right fielder, Landon Crowder.
So nobody out in the inning. Landon Crowder. You can see the batter tripped and fell over the bag and hit the ground after he went over, and then the first baseman was down grabbing as he made a swipe tag there. That pitch hits the batter. Got him, I believe, on the foot there as he was trying to skip out of the way. We'll watch it again here on the replay. Got him on the lower calf muscle there. So a hit batsman, and now the bases are loaded for Matt Harmon, the designated hitter.
Got him on the old gastrocnemius. If you take any anatomy, that's the scientific name for the calf.
Wilcox, but the base is full. Cut on and miss by Matt Harmon. I wonder if that's a tried and true Dave Elder pickup line from back in the day.
No, listen, as an early PE major, we had to have anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, all those wonderful ologies.
That pitch is in there for a strike, 1-2. Never mind.
Listen, you got to know how the muscles are and where they work.
Wilcox pitches foul back to the screen. I could just see Elder going, "Hey, baby, you got a nice gastro, whatever he just said."
Yeah, get slapped. Yeah,
get a drink poured on him.
Never said anything wrong. You get slapped.
That pitch is outside. 2-2 the count. Again, we're having fun at the old ballpark here. There's action in the South Georgia State bullpen. Bases are full of Cavaliers. Nobody out.
Listen, you were the
grounded to the shortstop. Takes a high hop, flips the second, got him there, but the run is going to score. And it's now 10-0. Let's watch the replay there. The runner may have impeded his vision as he went by, and it took a bad hop on him there. He recovered in time to get the force at second.
Well, that's not the first time that hop has come into effect there.
Second baseman.
Yeah, Chandler Rogers has had an adventure out there today at short. Ilgenfritz at the plate. That pitch is outside. Schmidt with a backhand stop there.
Second baseman, Cody.
So 1 out in the inning, and it's 10-0. That pitch is in there for a strike. Ilgenfritz steps in there. Way out in front of that one. 1-2 the count. 1 out in the inning. Runners at first and third. 2 more in for the Cavaliers here. Wilcox's pitch popped up over our heads out of play. Watch out, James. One and two is still the count to second baseman Cody Ilgenfritz, who is a sacrifice fly RBI and a walk. And he hits that one to right field, and that will get in front of the right fielder. That's going to score another run. Throw to the plate is way offline and not in time. Huggins comes in to score. It is now 11-0.
Boy, Ilgenfritz tomahawked that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a high pitch, and he jumped on it. We'll watch the replay here. That one was shoulder high. Inside out swing, hit it to right field. So back at the top of the order for Kendall Herron, who has doubled, reached on a fielder's choice, scored a run in his plate appearances. We might be running out of room here on our sheet. 11-0. That pitch is in there for a strike.
What about you, Mike? But this was not what I expected when I showed up to the ballpark today.
I'm with you, David. I thought this was going to be a close ball game, and here we are, 11-0. Only 1 out in the inning and 2 runners still on. Darton trying to add more here. Kendall Herron.
But as you mentioned yesterday, Mike, this game's never over until the last out, and I have seen bigger miraculous comebacks than an 11-0 deficit right here before. So
out in front, check swing. They say he went around. That's a strike. 1-2 the count. Wilcox checks the runners now to the plate. That one's high. 2-2 the count.
Mike,
well, David, does it factor in if you're South Georgia, you know you're going to play next week, and do you try to burn up your pitching staff here now and all the other things that might come into play?
Well, I don't know right now, but look, Mike, telltale sign, you look in the South Georgia State dugout, nobody's standing up on the railing. Everybody is sitting on the bench. It's almost like they've resigned themselves to the fact that it's over and we're coming back. But, normally every other game, ball players are standing up on that railing.
Well, Herron strikes out, caught looking there, and that's going to bring up Colton Thomas, who's tripled, singled, and hit a home run. He gets a double here. He's hit the cycle. Outside. And again, that's what I was thinking here as you look at the score, you look at Darton still adding on here, and 11 run, not insurmountable, but very rare to come back from that deficit. Breaking pitch gets in there for a strike.
Well, in athletics, when things are not going right, a lot of times your nonverbal cues really tell a lot. Sit there with your hands on your hips, your shoulders are slumped.
Out in front of that off-speed pitch. 1-2 the count. So Colton Thomas steps back in there, 1-2 count. That pitch is hit to the first baseman. Flores drops it. Nobody covers first. The pitcher was late. So runners advance a base. Still 11-0. Flores bobbled it, and the pitcher did not cover. He did not do his job. The pitcher is just standing there at the mound.
There's your mental aspect. You're just assuming.
Like I say, that just plays right into what you just said, that middle lapse there. First pitch to Gowdy. Bases are full of Cavaliers.
Fundamental baseball, anything hit to that side, a pitcher automatically goes to first.
Nubbed back to the pitcher over the first, and the third out is recorded. But Darton, they put three more runs on the board here. And it's 11-0 here as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this one. He's got running room. Midfield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley. Now is 20 in the game. Well, she's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Well, Taylor Farringer has an 11-run lead now as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. We'd like to give a shout-out again to our sponsors here as they've been supporting us here at the tournament. Diamond Baseball, the official ball sponsor of the GCAA. We appreciate their support. Go on their website and check out all the products that they have. And also Andy Cristo, our State Farm Insurance agent here in Albany. Your good neighbor agent. Give Andy a call at 229-888-0007. 229-888-0007. That's Andy Cristo, State Farm Insurance. So Stephen Kruger to the plate. He's singled. And again, 11-0 here, bottom of the fourth. 11 runs, 10 hits for the Cavaliers. Farringer's first pitch is in there for a strike. 0-4-2 for South Georgia. Not only have they given up 10 hits, but they've committed 2 costly errors. That pitch is just out of the zone. 1-1 to count. That pitch is low. So the Cavaliers looking to be the regular season champ and the tournament champ,
which would give them the honors of being Region 17 champion.
And again, they'll have a number 1 seed for next week's tournament. That pitch is low. 3-1 to count. Cable telling his pitcher now, throw strikes. Settle in there and throw strikes.
I'm sure we probably got Coach White and Coach Shelton from Dyersburg and Walter State watching, guys. If you are, hey, we'll see you next week.
Kruger with a liner up the middle. He gets his second hit of the game. So the leadoff batter is in. Landon Boyette, hitless in the ball game, steps to the plate. Yeah, that was a line shot back up the middle over the pitcher's head. Pitch to Boyette, in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. Cut on and missed. 0-2 the count. Well, David, not only has South Georgia State had a tough game with Darton, but they had a tough game with East Georgia here in this tournament too. I mean, they've had a lot taken out of them.
Yeah, they've had to go through some pitchers.
That pitch is high. I mean, it hasn't been an easy road for them to get back into this one because they East Georgia gave them all they wanted in that 10-9 comeback victory that they had. That pitch is high. 2-2 the count.
It's been a good tournament up to date. And,
we have seen just about everything in this one. There's been some great plays made on the field. We've had some timely hitting, and we've had a couple of great pitching performances too. Popped up. Cable shields his eyes, and he finally grabs it for the out. Cable looking up at that sun, checking it again. So the out is recorded there. Let's watch the replay again, but Cable holding on to his mask now releases it and staggers around in front of the dish there and finally makes the catch. So now Jalen Jackson at the plate, one out here, runner at first. Jackson was called out on that pitch that he swung at and hit him. Checks his swing there, 1-0 the count. That pitch is cut on a miss. Big swing that time by Jackson. Count even at 1-1. Farringer looks in to the plate. That one is hit to the right fielder. Coming over, he's going to camp under it. And that's out number 2. Landon Crowder there. Kruger did not attempt to advance.
The third baseman, Chase Henson.
So Chase Henson to the plate with 2 outs here. Runner stays at first for South Georgia. So Farringer's pitch to Henson is high, 1-0 to count. There is action in the South Georgia State bullpen. That pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. 11-0, Darton on top here in this one.
And that's the reason why you carry 12 to 15 pitchers.
Henson had the corkscrew out of the way of that one. Inside, 2-1 to count. Farringer's pitch to the second baseman. Easy hop for Ilgenfritz over to Morris, and that is the end of the inning. So South Georgia State, they strand another runner, but they do not push anything across. Top of the 5th inning. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this assignment. He's got running room. Midfield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on topside.com.
Mosley. Now with 20 in the game. She's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Well, a new pitcher is in for South Georgia State. That is number 30, Andrew Corbett. Corbett is a 5'11", 205-pounder out of Powhatan, Virginia. So another pitcher is in here for South Georgia State. And David James wants you to know that he takes back that frugal and cheap comment because you did buy him a quarter pounder yesterday. So Just want to set the record straight here. But, but James, you have to remember, he did call us contract employees yesterday, too. So, Corbett warming up here, the fourth pitcher used by South Georgia State.
Hey, if I don't write you a personal payroll check and somebody else pays you, then you are contracted.
Where's the love, man? Where's the love? John Cable to lead it off here for Darton in the top of the fifth inning.
Catcher John Cable.
First pitch to Cable is low, 0-1 to count. The pitch is in there for a strike. And again, if you look at Mr. Corbett, he has a very interesting motion there as he has an issue with his left hand. He throws right and puts his glove after he throws on his right hand so that he can field any ball that comes to him. It's kind of the Jim Abbott, if you remember him, who pitched in the major leagues. Pitch to Cable.
He does
2-1 to count.
He does not let his physical disability hinder him one bit. That is just awesome.
That's a low, and Cable walks. So Cable at first. That's going to bring up Morris, who has walked and doubled.
First baseman Tyler Morris.
And again, he makes that exchange so quick you really don't notice it. Has done it through repetition, but yeah, you got to be very proud and very impressed of that young man out there pitching. Popped up. Boyette in shallow right field has it for the first out of the inning.
Shortstop Mike Huggins.
So that's going to bring up Huggins there. That pitch is in there for a strike.
Well, we're top of the fifth, Mike. 11-10-1 for the Darton Cavaliers. 0-5-2 for the South Georgia State Hawks. Not what we expected today.
That pitch is in there for a strike to Huggins. 0-2 the count. Corbett to the plate. That one's popped right over our heads. That was the closest call we've had here. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, I purposely get one of these metal beams. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 open windows here, but they're framed out, and I purposely keep one right just about in between so I can use it as a deflector.
To the second baseman, third shortstop, to second one on the first. It's safe. They do get the force out at second. So a fielder's choice here. And that's going to bring up Landon Crowder. So Corbett with 2 out in the inning pitches. That one is low to Landon Crowder, who's walked and been hit by a pitch. Foul back to the screen. 1-1 to count.
Once again, a beautiful day here in Albany, Georgia. Golly, it's nice. It ain't even warmed up here in the 10-box press box. Just a beautiful day.
That pitch is just outside. 2-1 to count. That pitch slow, skips by. Runner's going to get the second. I think we've had a change here in our lineup. If I look at the South Georgia State infield, looks like Wyatt Petrie has now moved to third, and Henson has moved to second, and Boyette is not in. So that's a difference in the infield here for South Georgia State. 3-1 your count. Cut on and missed, 3-2. Still 11-0. Runner stands at second. Ladden and Crowder here. That is low, and Crowder walks. So Crowder has walked twice and been hit by a pitch.
In the DH, Matt Harmon.
So DH Matt Harmon will step to the plate. He's walked. Reached on a fielder's choice. Has an RBI. It's 11-0 still. Top of the 5th inning. Yeah, Dave, we don't get many days like this down in South Georgia, and as we get closer to summer, this is a reprieve for us.
They'll never look to gift horse in the mouth. I know you guys are glad to have this. I know you want a little more rain. If you're like we are up in North Georgia, it's starting to get dry.
That pitch is just high. I want to know where the morning walk this morning with the dog was pleasant. Both of us enjoyed it this morning.
Yeah, you made a statement yesterday when it gets, as they say, the dog days of summer, your dog doesn't like to come out.
Chop to the shortstop, steps on the bag, and that's going to be a force play, and that ends the inning. So finally, Darton is held scoreless in an inning. They do strand a couple of runners. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 11-0, Darton on top. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Infield kicks it in, 40, got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley, now with 20 in the game. Well, she's been the head coach, so she's done her part for the season.
Bottom of the 5th inning here. Taylor Farringer still on the mound for Darton. Again, fans, want to remind you, if you want a copy of any or all games of the 2016 GCAA baseball tournament, get unlimited downloads and everything Jock Jive will broadcast for an entire year for only $19.99. Yes, become a Jock Jive Premium Channel member, and you have access to everything we cover. To sign up today, go to jockjive.com and click on subscribe to Jock Jive Sports. And you can have Mike Flowers and David Elder all the time if you wanted to.
Boy, you probably don't want that.
Schmidt's first pitch is low in the dirt, 1-0 the count.
Still sign up, just turn the volume down. There you go.
Farringer's 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike, 1-1.
But, you know, all our baseball fans are going to want to know what's going on next week. And unfortunately, guys, I apologize, but we won't have this web stream for the district tournament. But I'll have everything up on the GCAA site for you.
Ilgenfritz popped, tried to barehand it, and it skips away from him, and Schmidt will reach first base.
Well, Schmidt cue-balled this off the end of the bat. Watch here on the replay.
Ilgenfritz
The shortstop, Chandler Wright.
didn't know whether to get it with the bare hand or with the glove, and chose the bare hand, and he could not corral it. So Schmidt reaches. Pop foul out of play. Chandler Rogers. Sue singled twice in the game. I guess they gave Ilvin Fritz an error on that one.
Well, I think he realized that the ball was cue balled off the end and it was going to spin funny once it hit, and it did. Let's see it here once again on the replay.
That pitch is in there for a strike. 0-2. Spun funny, and you got a hurt hand to boot. So
bare hands and baseballs do not go together.
Farringer's pitch. Good stop by Cable, way outside. 1-2 the count.
That's why Abner created a glove back in the day.
Again, you see a little dust blowing across the infield here as the wind gusts a little bit. That one's to the first baseman. Foul out of play. Morris made a lunge at it, but out of his reach. Yeah, the camera is shaking a little bit in center field, and that flag is starched out there. Rogers calls time, now gets back in the batter's box. The 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled down the third base line, so he's fouled one down first, fouled one down third now.
Now let's see if he can get it inside those two white lines.
Nobody out in the inning. Runner at first. 1-2 pitch. Ooh, that was high. He's ducked out of the way of that one. 2-2 the count. Rogers caught looking. That one in there for a strike. He knew it. He walked away after that pitch.
Well, the previous pitch was high and inside, and I don't know if he dug down in there for this one and just got him, froze him.
The right fielder, Cameron Coffey.
He just walked away. He knew it was in there. So Cameron Coffey to the plate. One out, runner on first. That pitch is high. 1-0 the count. (11-0) Cavaliers on top. That one skied to center field. Herron's over. He'll grab it for the second out of the inning. So that brings up Michael Flores to first baseman.
First baseman, Michael Flores.
Runner gets a lead from first. Pitch to Flores is inside. 1-0 to count. Farringer checks the runner at first. To the plate. Cable backhand out of the zone. 2-0 to count. So Farringer with a 2-0 pitch about to be made to Flores. And that is grounded to the third baseman, Gowdy. Gowdy crossed the diamond. Throw is in there to Morris. And it's in there. So the third out is recorded. Nothing doing for South Georgia State. They strand a runner. We go to the top of the sixth. 11-0 Darton, GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this with Darton. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
And we're back here, top of the 6th inning. Darton still on top, 11-0 in this one. Andrew Corbett still in relief here, the 4th pitcher used by South Georgia State. Again, Darton with 5 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th. South Georgia State has 5 hits in their at-bats, but they've been not able to group them together. So we're 11-0 here. Again, winner of this game, if it's Darton, that'll be all we'll play. They will be the undefeated tournament champions here. And they will have done the double, the regular season and the tournament champions.
Leadoff batter at the top of the 6th, second baseman Cody Ilgenfritz.
So Ilgenfritz to the plate. Sacrifice fly, walked, single, driven in 2. That pitch is high, 1-0 the count.
And Mike, I wasn't ignoring you. I was just trying to do a little research on the 2 teams coming in next week from Tennessee, Dyersburg State, who won that region as a result of their conference tournament. They were 37-11, 19-4 in the conference. So you see what their record is, and then we go to Walter State. Walter State was their regular season champion. They were 46-14, and they were 21-3 in the conference. So you got a couple of good ball clubs coming down from the Volunteer State, and we'll welcome them down here next week. But I would like, for one time, because I have to go out to Grand Junction, I'd like to see a Georgia. I think South Georgia State was the last Georgia team that I got to root for. So I'd like to see a Georgia team head out that way.
Ooh, that one got him on the top of the helmet there.
That was unintentional.
Ilgenfritz. That one skimmed off the batting helmet there with a 3-1 pitch, so you knew nothing was intentional. We'll watch the replay here. Yep, that got him there. So, Dave, what were you saying before Ilgenfritz rooting for a South Georgia team?
Well, South Georgia State was the last team that made it out there. And so I'd like to see I don't know how many years I'll serve as D1 baseball chair continue. This is my 7th year, so I'd like to see a Georgia team out there before I yield that to somebody else.
Kendall Herron at the plate, runner at first. The disembodied voice that didn't Walter State make a deep run last year
at
Grand Junction. That one is to the shortstop. Looks at second, throws over there and gets the force. So the out is recorded there. Good play by Chandler Rogers. Got it to Chase Henson.
And, of course, Northwest Florida, Gulf Coast team. Northwest Florida State won it all last year.
And Chattahoochee Valley, they went deep in the tournament too, if I remember correctly.
Yep, and they've been ranked, I think they're ranked, they are ranked number 2, latest poll.
That's in there for a strike to Colton Thomas, who has tripled, singled, hit a 2-run homer, reached on an error. He's a double away from the cycle. Cut on and missed. 0-2 the count. 1 out in the inning, runner on first. Corbett delivers. That one's hit foul down the left field line.
Sorry about that.
Corbett's pitch. Thomas thought about it, didn't swing on the off-speed pitch. 1-2 the count.
You're talking about Chat Valley from Alabama. They're ranked number 2. Santa Fe from Florida is number 1. Walter State, number 5. St. John's River, number 9 from Florida. Dyersburg State, number 12.
High pitch to Thomas. 2-2 the count.
And Darton received votes in last week's poll but didn't make the top 20.
So now we're going out to check the pitcher here.
Given a little courtesy, I don't think he was pausing or something. So
Well, he wanted to go to his mouth there is what the umpire, I think, was signaling there, and the pitcher did.
Well, I tell you what, that's one of those game management things that people don't understand that officials do.
Cut on and missed by Thomas, so he goes down swinging. That's going to bring up third baseman Denzel Gowdy. 2 out in the inning now. Runner stays at first. Gowdy with a single and an RBI in the game. 11-0. Cavaliers on top here. Foul back to the screen. So again, what you're saying is this is our part of the world. The Southeast is going to be well represented with some pretty good programs here in the rankings right now, and somebody good is going to go out the Grand Junction. We know from either from Alabama, from Georgia.
Well, those upsets always
Tennessee.
happen. You have teams that you're expecting to get out there, and they've still got to go through their tournaments like everybody else. And there's always a surprise or two.
Gowdy pops it foul, and that one will get out of play.
You know, there's 10 districts that head out to Grand Junction from across the country, and there's always a surprise there. So we'll see.
Corbett's 0-2 pitch to Gowdy. That one's hit to right field. That will drop in front of the right fielder for a base hit. And runners will be at first and second with 2 outs for John Cable.
Brings up the catcher, John Cable.
Coffee in right field. I don't know if he got a good jump on that one, but it landed about 3 foot in front of there, played it on a hop. The disembodied voice says that he cannot wait to go to the National Monument again this year.
Colorado Monument?
Colorado Monument.
How's he getting out there? Is he taking the production truck?
He says the NGCA baseball commissioner is taking him. Well, that was his response.
When did the NJCA get a commissioner?
That pitch is low to Cable. 2-0 the count.
Now, I'll be glad to give James another guided tour out there. I need to take him up on the Mesa. We didn't get to go to the Mesa last year. I took him out to the Monument.
That pitch is in there for a strike. 2-1.
But I take him up on top of the Mesa where we can be in Grand Junction and it's 82 degrees and get up on the Mesa and it's 44. And the lakes still have slush in them and get to see the mule deer. And
pitch to Cable is low. 3-1. Runners at first and second. 2 out here. So you're getting James back to nature is what you're saying.
Let's put it this way. You don't see that type of topography out in Mississippi.
Cable with another walk. So the bases are full. Yeah, they don't have mesas in Columbus, Mississippi, do they?
No, they don't.
They may have the La Mesa restaurant, but they do not have mesas in Columbus. And Jeff Timothy is out to the mound again, and I believe he's going to make another pitching change as I see someone walking in from the bullpen there. Let's see for sure. He may not make a pitching change here. He may keep him in there and just maybe talking defense. I thought I saw someone who had been throwing walking up. But now he's going to keep him in. So Corbett will get a shot here at the next batter. Bases are full of Cavaliers, 11-0. Darton on top, and Tyler Morris, who has walked and doubled, who was the hero yesterday with the big 3-run homer to win it for Darton. So Corbett with the bases full of Cavaliers. That pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 to count. Morris Digs back in there. Bases again loaded. 2 outs. And that one hits him. That one got him. He's not happy about that. He walks down to first. Hit by a pitch. That's going to bring a runner in. Again, you watch it again. That one got him on the forearm there, I believe. So Huggins will come to the plate with the bases loaded. Thomas comes in to score. That one's popped off the foot of Huggins, so that's a foul ball. One run in, 2 out, bases still loaded. That is the 3rd hit batsman in the game for South Georgia State. And that one's hit the center field. That's what will fall for a base hit. 1 run is going to score. The 2nd run is going to score as Cable comes chugging around. And it's now 13-0 and 2 more runs score. Runners at first and second.
The right fielder, Landon Crowder.
14-0 with 2 scoring. So now Jeff Timothy will make a change. So Huggins with a single, 2 RBIs. Landon Crowder will come up after the pitching change. We'll take a break here. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this one. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got 1 guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockTime.com.
Mosley. Now play in the game. Well, she's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Well, a new pitcher is in the ball game for South Georgia State, number 10, Tanner Wright. He's the 5th pitcher of the day for South Georgia State. Wright is a 5'7", 160-pound freshman out of Jeff Davis High School. And the wheels keep turning here for Darton as they just keep getting hit after hit after hit. 14 runs, 12 hits. They've had 3 hit batsmen in the game. By my score sheet, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 walks, 5 walks they've had in the game. So they have had a plethora of base runners in this one. So Huggins will be at first, Morris at second. Crowder will be the batter. He's walked twice and been hit by a pitch.
Well, Mike, if this holds true, and we haven't seen any indication that this won't hold true for the rest of this ball game, and we're starting to get to the point where we can start leaning that direction a little ways, what we're going to have next Wednesday. If Darton State wins this, they'll be the number 1 seed, and they'll take on Walter State at 12 noon. And then Dyersburg State will play South Georgia State at 3:30. Those 2 winners will take on each other. Let me back up there. The two losers of those opening day will play on day 2 on Thursday at 12 noon. The winners will play at 3:30, so we'll have a team eliminated on Thursday. And then we'll go to Friday, the next elimination game. And going from there, but we'll have this bracket up on the GCAA.
The pitch from Wright is inside to Crowder. 2-0 the count. Runner is the scoring position. Again, 3 big runs already in here in this one. It's 14-0. That pitch is in there for a strike. 2-1 to count. Well, the Cavaliers have kicked both their extra points in this one. 14 runs. That's almost unimaginable. And we're only in the 6th inning. We did not expect that today when we arrived here about 11 o'clock. That one's inside, and that's going to be a walk to Crowder. So 3 walks on the day, hit batsman. That's going to bring up Matt Harmon.
Pitch hitting number 1, Grant McDonald.
And now Grant McDonald will be pitch hitting for Matt Harmon. Grant, sophomore out of Bainbridge. That pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. So again, the base is full of Cavaliers here. That pitch is low. 1-1 to count. Fouled at the plate. Count is 1-2 now. So Grant McDonald steps back in there. Wright's pitch, pop foul out of play. Still 1-2 here. Again, we're in the top of the 6th inning. 3 more runs in for Darton. Off speed outside, 2-2 the count. Wright's 2-2 pitch to McDonald. That's to the shortstop. Flips the second, and they get the force there. Darton strands 3 runners in their 6, but they put 3 across. It is now 14-0 as we go to the bottom of 6. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this one. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley. Now with 20 in the game. She's been the head coach. But she's done her part for the season.
Well, a new pitcher is on for Darton. Number 17, Zach McCurry, in relief of Taylor Farringer. McCurry, a 6'2", 225-pound sophomore out of East Caida. And if you're Darton, everything has gone well for you today. You're up 14-0 here as we go to the bottom of the 6th. And before we get too far along this ball game, I know Commissioner Elder will second this, but we appreciate Darton and everybody putting on the tournament. It's been a great 3 days here, and the hospitality's been great, and the weather has cooperated with us, and so we've had a good time here.
The fine folks at Darton State and Albany, they always do a class job, and you know, if you got to come down here for something that's going to be done right, then there's not going to be issues, and yes, they've done a great job. We just hated this was coming to an end.
Refuses grounder to Gowdy. Good play by the third baseman, and the first out is recorded. Yep, it's been a good tournament, and other than the little hiccup with the light issue, everything has gone according to plan here, and And it appears it's going to go according to plan by the seedings. The number 1 team and the number 2 team, and the number 1 team in charge of this one. Kruger to the plate.
Sure is looking that way.
Kruger has singled twice in the ball game. That one is popped over his dugout down the third base side. 1-1 to count. That one is cut on and missed. 1-2 account. And our public address announcer, Mr. Glenn, on his 68th wedding anniversary here, working instead of at home. But he said his wife made him leave this morning. Imagine that.
2 pieces of
That one is sky to center field.
bread said leave.
Heron is over there for the catch. 2 outs, but you know she made us some great banana bread the last couple of mornings, and that's been our breakfast. So Miss Bernice, we appreciate that.
Banana bread with pecans in it. That's the king of all nuts, pecans.
So now Wyatt Petrie will come to the plate. That pitch is low.
James,
That pitch is cut on and fouled. Yes, if you only knew what James just said, I'm gonna hold off on that one. That may be between break comment there. 1-1 account to Petrie. That pitch is out of the zone. 2-1.
Who's going to play?
2-1 pitch to Petrie from McCurry is in there. So the count even at 2-2. That one is fouled at the plate. We'll do the 2-2 pitch over again. Again, both these teams advance to the district play next week. It appears Darton will be a number 1 seed and South Georgia will be a number 2 seed. That pitch is low. 3-2 the count. Full count here to Wyatt Petrie. And he is caught looking, and that ends the inning. So nothing doing for South Georgia State. We'll go to the top of the 7th here as you watch the replay. Still 14-0 Darton. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this one. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
One right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley now with 20 in the game. She's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Well, top of the 7th inning here. It's been all Darton in this one, 14-0. There's not a whole lot you can say about this. It's been Darton from the get-go.
You can't sugarcoat this one.
Yeah, this is like the medicine your mama used to give you when you were young. It tasted bad. She tried to dilute it a little bit, but it was still bad going down. And this has to be bad if you're South Georgia State.
Cody Ilgenfritz.
So Ilgenfritz to lead it off here in the top of the 7th. But again, no shame here in finishing second. South Georgia State has had a great season. They've had some great games here in this tournament. And they're still alive to play next week. That pitch is low into dirt. 1-0 to count.
Couldn't pronounce that name. He still can't write it, but. Yeah, I did.
That pitch is low and into dirt. 2-0 the count.
Because I had written it down. Couldn't read my writing. Try to read it closer, right? You know that. I did know that.
And that pitch is high. 3-0 the count. So a 3-0 count here to the second baseman. That's in there for a strike, 3-1. Leadoff batter here for the Cavaliers. And that one's hit down the line, and that one is going to go just foul. Boy, Ilgenfritz was close to a double there. That one curled just foul. So a full count here to the second baseman for the Cavaliers. So Ilgenfritz will step back in there. Tanner Wright gets on the rubber. The 3-2 pitch is about to be made. Here it is. It's low. Ilgenfritz will walk. Well, he's had an interesting line here. A sac fly, 2 walks, hit by a pitch, and a single.
Center fielder Kendall Herron.
And that's going to bring up Kendall Herron, who has doubled, reached on a fielder's choice, and scored a run. Nobody on, 1 out here. Top of the 7th inning. That pitch is low and into dirt. Runner stays at first. 1-0 the count. That pitch is low. 2-0 the count. So Tanner Wright having difficulty here at the start of the 7th. Darton has scored in every inning but the 5th. In the hole between short and third, and that's another base hit.
The infielder Colton Thomas.
So Colton Thomas will step to the place. 2 on, nobody out here, and Darton looking for more runs. That one is skied to center field. Runners will tag, but they don't advance. Out number 1.
The third baseman Denzel Gotti.
Thomas got underneath it. No carry on that one. So they'll bring up third baseman Gowdy, who has singled twice, scored a run, and driven in a run. Wright looks the runner back at second. Now to the plate. That's a ball. 1-0 the count. Well, Mike Flowers with you. Commissioner David Elder. James Crenshaw, our technical engineer extraordinaire in the hot van behind us.
Also our court jester.
And our cameraman Jimmy, I believe, is on duty today. 2-0 the count. Wright's pitch, and they call a balk. He did not come to a stop. No pitch. Runners will advance. You watch the replay there. He has to come to a discernible stop. That time he did. It's hit the center field. That'll fall in. One run is going to score. Gowdy gets an RBI single. It's now 15-0.
And the catcher, John Cable.
So now John Cable steps to the plate. The player of the year will go on and play at the next level at New Orleans, I believe, is where he's going.
University of New Orleans. New Orleans.
New Orleans, New Orleans, and Nolans, as they say.
Big Easy.
Mm-hmm. And that skips out of the way. Cable does. That didn't hit him. I don't know how. He's skipped out of the way of that one, and that's a ball. Nobody advanced there.
Gowdy did go to second there, Mike.
Gowdy did advance to second. The run from third held. I was looking at the run from third, seeing if he would break for home. So a 1-1 pitch. Again, buckles the knees of Cable. 2-1 the count. And I guess, David, it'll be determined what will happen with the merger with Darton and Albany State, but a lot of these players here for Darton, they're going to somehow know there's going to be a competition. They're going to have to find a home, or I don't know how that's going to work for some of these players.
And, you know, that's
I guess that's the question of the day here. And that one's grounded hard foul down the first base line.
It is, and that is the player's decision whether they want to. Scott Hemmings will be the coach at Albany State. Still play on this facility, which I'm pretty sure of.
Mm-hmm.
Can he keep some of his players here, or will they decide to go somewhere else?
Breaking pitch there. Inside 3-2. And for players like Cable, even though they would be moving up into another conference, the opportunity to play at New Orleans is too good to pass up. So that one's popped up foul out of play. A higher level of competition and again, I guess and again, obviously the dream of all these players, whatever level they may be, is to one day don that major league uniform or get to that level. So,
well, you've got kids from this Darton team going to Clemson, Louisville, South Alabama, New Orleans, all very good baseball programs.
Cable lines it to center, refuse under it. Runner will tag from third, and another run in for the Cavaliers. It's now 16-0.
The first baseman, Tyler Morris.
So Morris, who has walked, doubled, been hit by a pitch, driven in two. So Gowdy stands at second now with 2 outs in the inning. That one's inside from right. 1-0 the count. And that hits him. That one got him. Second time Morris has been hit by a pitch.
And the shortstop, Mike Huggins.
And Huggins will now step to the plate. Doubled. Reached on an error. Fielder's choice. Singled. 2 RBIs. Scored a run. And now Coach Jeff Timothy is going to, I believe, make another change here as we have someone running in out of the bullpen. So the relief pitcher is coming in, and Wright goes out. 16-0, Darton on top. We'll take another break here. This is the GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive. relief pitcher in for South Georgia State, number 22, Luke Sims, coming in the pitch. 5'11", 170-pounder out of Coffee County, Douglas, Georgia. It's been Darton all day long here. They put 2 more runs across. It's now 16-0. Gowdy stands at second, Morris at first. Huggins will step to the plate here. That one is high, 1-0 the count. 2 outs in the inning here. Runners at first and second. 2 more in. That one's just inside, 2-0 the count. Again, there's just not a whole way to say anything other than total domination by the team in red. That's in there for a strike. The Cavaliers have been on fire since the first at-bat of this one. Sidearms that one in there for a strike. 2-2 the count. Again, Luke Sims out of Coffee County, Douglas, Georgia. That pitch is low. 3-2 the count. So a full count here to Sims' first batter. Hit to by the third baseman. Petrie dove for it. Gowdy is going to score. It's now 17-0. Morris stops at second. Huggins at first. That's going to bring up
Pitching number 27, Jonathan Cirillo.
Number 27, Jonathan Cirillo, to the plate.
Well, Mike, will you come back next week and watch some of the district?
Well, the short answer is no. I have a niece getting married next week, and I will be heading up to that wedding on Thursday. I may be able to catch the first day of the tournament. But I have my only niece is getting married, and her and her future husband are tying the knot. She just recently got her master's degree from UGA, and
she's a double dog as well.
And a called third strike there to Cirillo, so that ends the inning. But 3 more runs go up on the board for Darton. Bottom of the 7th, 17-0. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this with Giant. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley. Now he's playing the game. Well, she's been the head coach, so she's done her part for the season.
Well, bottom of the 7th inning here. Several changes in the lineup for Darton. A new pitcher is number 10, Pierce Smith. And also now coming in playing at first base, number 26, Adam McDonough. So Coach Scott Hemmings getting some new players in there, getting some folks a chance to play here in this tournament. And he's got the luxury of a 17-0 lead. Well, Dave, going back to my niece here before out, but very proud of Amy and her education accomplishment. She's actually got a job and everything, and she's getting married to a young man by the name of Shane, and they're both very happy, and we think the world of both of them. So we're looking forward to next week and looking forward to them having a long life together.
Well, like I told you, I'm glad you're heading that way. Family always comes first. You know, that's the most important thing in my book. So go enjoy them if you can catch the first game with us.
Well, you know, I do have a way of coming out here to seeing it before I leave, and like I say, I'll try to do that next week before we head out of town on Thursday.
Well, if you follow the GCAA on Twitter.
Yes,
Then,
again, I can keep up with you wherever I'm at.
That's right. So can everyone else who's watching today.
Jalen Jackson swings and misses at that one.
And we hit a milestone with our Twitter followers this week. I think it was on Friday. We went over the 1,000 mark, and we certainly thank you for following us on Twitter.
We have a new catcher in the ball game too, number 24, Justin Henley. And I think we've got another one here I haven't quite gotten to yet, another change, but for the Cavaliers. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Well, that lucky 1,000th Twitter follower, I'm sure, is waiting with bated breath for that Robert Williamson autograph portrait you're going to send them. So
suitable for putting on your dartboard in your game room.
Suitable for chasing critters out of your barn. 2-2 count here to Jackson.
Suitable for solving all your ills and woes.
Cut on and miss. Jackson goes down swinging. Out number 1 recorded by Pierce Smith. Well, we're glad Robert is doing a tournament right now and not listening.
But he does have the ability to go back and view the archives.
Goes back and looks at the archives. Oh, well, guys, I've enjoyed working with you all over the last few years. Thank you very much. 1-1 to count here to number 19, Chase Henson, hitless of the ball game. Pop to center field. That will fall for a base hit. So Henson has a single. And that's going to bring up Jacob Schmidt, whose single reached on an error. Schmidt had the 6 RBI game earlier in the tournament. Hit a grand slam home run in that South Georgia State, East Georgia 10-9 ball game. Out in front of that one, 0-1 to count. Schmidt. That pitch is outside. 1-1 the count. Pierce Smith to the plate. Foul back to the screen. 1-2 the count. $17-0. Darton on top. Way out in front. Schmidt goes down swinging. That's out number 2. And that'll bring up Chandler Rogers.
Number 12, Chandler Rogers.
Rogers has singled twice in the ball game.
Oh, that's outside.
Outside of the pitch from Pierce Smith. Throw to first. That was close there.
That was close.
That one is low. 2-0 to count. Pierce, 6'5", 187-pounder out of Walton County. 3-0 the count.
Let's get over there around Monroe, about 20 minutes west of Athens.
So runner at first, 2 out in an inning, 3-0 pitch to Rogers, and he walks. 4-pitch walk there. And that's going to bring up Cameron Coffey, who's hitless in the ball game.
Cameron Coffey.
Only one more out needed for Smith to get out of this one and go to the 8th. Like I say, 17-0 is your score. That one's grounded to the shortstop. Flips to second in time, and out number 3 is recorded. Well, Darton again holds them at bay. We go to the top of the 8th inning, still 17-0. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this with the Giant. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
One right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley. Now he's playing the game. She's been the head coach. So she's done her part for the season.
Top of the 8th inning here. Luke Sims still on the mound for South Georgia State. There's not a lot you can say about this one. 17-0. 17-15-2 for Darton. 0-6-2 for South Georgia State. Darton has definitely proven why they are the number 1 seed and the regular season champs, as they have put on a overwhelming, dominating performance here in today's ball game. And if you could only look at my score sheet here in front of me, it is a mess. Do not have enough spot to put all this stuff. So batting is Grant McDonald.
Leadoff batter is number 1, Grant McDonald. Top 8.
McDonald. That's in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for being a part of our broadcast and watching, and we appreciate everyone's support. We've had some very kind words from people here in the community as we've gone in and out of the field here and talking to folks. And we've had an average. That one is skied, and that's going to get down between the right fielder and the center fielder. McDonald on his horse is going to stop at second with a stand-up double.
Second baseman Cody.
Again, we've had over 3,000 hits, viewers, whatever you want to call it here, to each day of our tournament. And again, we appreciate everybody tuning in and being a part of this and supporting the GCAA. Cody Ilgenfritz at the plate. Sack fly, walk, single, hit by a pitch, and walked. 0-1 to count here to the second baseman. Cut on and missed. 0-2 the count. Runner at second, nobody out. The Cavaliers have scored 2 touchdowns and a field goal here, 17-0. Popped up. That's out of play. So still 0-2 to the second baseman. That one's to the shortstop. Runner retreats back to second, over the first, in time to Flores for out number 1. Rogers to Flores for the first out.
Pitch hitting number 25, Micah Strickland.
So Micah Strickland is now batting. In there for a strike. Strickland, 5'11", 177-pound freshman out of North Hall. In there for a strike, check swing. Down in the count, 0-2. That pitch is low. 1-2 the count. That breaking pitch is outside. 2-2 the count here. Again, runner stands at second, 1 out. Darton has scored in every inning but one so far. That one is going to get to the gap. They're not going to get that one. To the wall it goes. Strickland's going to get an RBI. He's going to stand up at second, and it's now 18-0. So the bench players getting into the ball game, double and an RBI. McDonald scores. It's now 18-0. And Colton Thomas to the plate. Again, Colton with a double here would hit for the cycle. Sims pitch in there for a strike. 0-1. 1 out in the inning, 1 on, 1 run in. In there for a strike. 0-2. Grounded up the middle. Shortstop scoops to Flores in time for out number 2. Strickland goes to third. So now 2 out in the inning. Runner on third for Denzel Gowdy, who has singled 3 times, scored a run, and driven in 2. Pitch is outside. 1-0 to count. Hit the center field. Center fielder running in. He gets it. And that's going to be the third out. But Darton, they do put another run up on the board. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 18-0 is your score. GCA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.
Southern to serve to begin this for the Giants. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley now with 20 in the game. Well, she's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th here. It's still Darton on top of this one, 18-0. Fans, if you want a copy of any or all games of the 2016 GCAA baseball tournament, you can get unlimited downloads of everything Jock Jive broadcast for an entire year for only $19.99. Yes, you can become a Jock Jive Premium Channel member, and you have access to everything we cover. To sign up today, go to jockjive.com and click on subscribe to Jock Jive Sports. New pitcher in for Darton, Dylan Price. So everybody getting some playing time here. And Flores will lead it off. Price is a right-hand pitcher, sophomore out of Marion County, Buena Vista, not far up the road here. 6'2", 165. In the hole, base hit. Flores, his first hit of the day. Sharp single. And that's going to bring up center fielder Zach Refuse.
Center fielder Zach Refuse.
Zach had a great pitching performance last night. Complete game win over East Georgia. Has one hit in his plate appearances today. Again, the breeze blowing out. You can see the camera moving a little bit there. That one's in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Runner on first, nobody out here, bottom of the 8th. And that got him. Refuse is hit by a pitch.
The left fielder, Stephen Kruger.
And that's going to bring up Stephen Kruger, who singled twice in the ball game. So South Georgia State, first 2 runners on here. Now the umpires are coming over here, and I don't know what they're. Coach Scott Hemmings is coming out here, and now there's something with Ilgen Fritz, and now they're going to check him. So now I think we're going to have a replacement out there as Ilgen Fritz comes off the field. So I don't know if he wasn't feeling well or got something in his eye. So
Going to play second base, number 26, Adam McDonald.
So Adam McDonald
I can only speculate.
McDonough will go to second, and now Landon Bertel will come in and play first.
At first base, number 18, Landon Britell.
So McDonough moves from first to second. Bertel comes in at first.
Engelfritz just didn't look like he was feeling well.
Bertel out of Deerfield, Windsor, the school that I do high school sports for.
Local young man.
Local young man, didn't stray far. Good little ball player, multi-sport player. That pitch is low. 1-0 the count. Dylan Price in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Well, it's 18-0. Another run on the board for Darton. They have scored in every inning but one. Bottom of the 8th here. Chopper. Second baseman charges, tries to scoop, does not get it. Now Flores thought about coming to third. Now the runner tries to go back to second. Everybody retreats. Bases will be full here. High chopper there. The only chance for the second baseman was to field it cleanly. And he did not, so the bases are now full. So number 28, Wyatt Petrie to the plate. Bases are full, nobody out here. That's low, 1-0. So Dylan Price has not gotten anybody out in his first inning of work here. And there for a strike. 1-1 to count. That one's cut on a mix by Petrie. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch from Price. Way out in front. He strikes out, so 1 out in the inning. And that's going to bring up big Jalen Jackson.
Batting 34, Jalen Jackson.
The wind is blowing out. If big Mr. Jackson puts one up high in the air with a little bit of heft to it, he could put one out of here. It is blowing out from center to left. Low, 1-0 the count. Bases full of Hawks, 1 out. Pitch, and that one is hit fouled on the first baseline, out of play. 1-1 to count.
Well, Mike, I was having discussion just a minute ago with Travis McClanahan, our baseball chair, and we're gonna visit this fall and discuss making this game, if both teams are advancing, making it a run rule ball game, even though it is a championship game, because there's, you know. Or at least put that opportunity in there, and the coaches, if both of them agree beforehand, and then we can do that just to give us some flexibility, because you know, you get to this point now, we know both teams are going and the lead's there, and unless something just catastrophic happens, you know Darton's going to win this ball game, and you just don't want to run the risk of, you know, people getting hurt unnecessarily, and then all of a sudden they're not available for next week. So we're going to sit back and take a look at that for next year.
So a 3-run count here to Jalen Jackson from Dylan Price. That one is grounded foul. Now a full count to Jackson. Yeah, Dave, I mean, all the points you bring up are good, valid points. And, again, you don't want a player to have an injury here in a game that, let's be honest, is out of control. And, you know, it's been out of control for a long time here. And you just don't want something like that to happen. Rare as it may be, it does happen in sports.
Yes.
That one is hit to the right fielder. He will drift back. He will camp under it for the out. The runner is going to tag from third, and South Georgia State has a run. It's now 18-1.
19, Chase Henson.
And that's going to bring up third baseman Chase Henson, who is singled in the ball game. In there for a strike, 0-1 the count. So South Georgia State has dented the scoreboard here in the 8th inning. Cut on and missed. 0-2. Price's 0-2 pitch. High, 1-2. I've been corrected by the disembodied voice. The 1 run is merely a scratch, not a dent on the scoreboard. So. Check swing. Pitcher fields. Strike to first. And that ends the inning. But South Georgia State, they do get a run. They strand a couple of runners. We're going to go to the top of the 9th here. 18-1, Cavaliers on top. GCAA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive. Well, we're top of the 9th inning here. Darton for their last at bat. They have a 17-run lead, 18-1. Lucas Sims still on the hill for South Georgia State. South Georgia State did put 1 run across here. And again, Darton will be the champion of the tournament, and both of these teams, though, will play at the district tournament next week. So not all is lost if you're a South Georgia State fan.
No, and I think you'll see a totally different South Georgia State team come out here next week. You know, even though you're playing for the number 1 seed, in some ways this game is sort of anticlimactic because the bigger picture is moving on and winning district and getting to Grand Junction. So
Justin Henley will step in and lead it off for the Cavaliers. Well, and we knew last night after the final game that you know which teams were going to go. That one is Sky to center field. Refuse, a couple of steps back, grabs it for the first out. I mean, again, a closer game, the seeding might matter. When it got out of hand, I think South Georgia State resigned to the fact they were going to be a number 2 seed, and that's what we have here. It's an 18-1 ball game. You can't put anything else on this one. It has been a blowout. Adam McDonough at the plate. That pitch is high, 1-1. McDonough, 6 foot, 225-pound freshman out of Lakota East High School in Ohio. He came down to the land of warmth.
the minute you said Lakota, I said, that's not in Georgia.
1-2 the count. Cut on and missed. He goes down swinging. So an easy out for Luke Sims. And that's going to bring up Huggins. Huggins with 2 out here in the top of the 9th. That pitch is outside. 1-0 the count. That's in there for a strike. 1-1. Well, again, we're glad you have joined us. Glad you've been a part of watching our games all this tournament for everyone out there, and we hope we've made it fun for you and interesting. That pitch is hit to the third baseman. Flores squeezes it, and that ends the 9th. So nothing doing for Darton. We go to the bottom of the 9th here. 18-1 Cavaliers on top. GCA Sports Network powered by Jock Jive.
Infield kicks it in, 40, got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockTime.com.
Mosley, now with 20 in the game. She's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season.
Bottom of the 9th inning, 18-1 Darton on top, looking to be the champions here.
Mike, thanks to you and James and everybody at Jock Jive. Appreciate once again making this available to everybody that wanted to tune in. Thanks to everybody that tuned in and watched. We appreciate you. Appreciate your interest in GCAA baseball, and I'm going to step out of here because I'm going to have to do some post-game ceremonies. And guys, once again, you can keep up with the East Central District. I'll try to get everything posted on Twitter after each ball game and try to update the bracket. Try to get the bracket up on our website, but if not, I'll definitely have have the scores on Twitter for you. So thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Well, Dave, we appreciate you, and again working with you again, and we again appreciate all you do and all these schools do to help educate the young men and women and give them a chance to play at sports.
That's what we're here for.
That pitch is high. 2-0 the count here. Jacob Schmidt, the catcher at the plate. That pitch is high. So Scott Hemmings out there talking to his pitcher, who's 2-0. And that's number 15, Trey Johnson, out on the hill. Trey is a right-handed pitcher, 6 foot, 185-pound sophomore out of Lincoln, Florida. $18 runs, 17 hits, 2 errors, 1 8-2 for South Georgia State. Darton will be your champions in 3 more outs. In there for a strike, 3-1 the count. Cut on and missed, 3-2, full count now. Low, he walks him. Schmidt with a walk. So the leadoff batter is on here in the bottom of the 9th. And that's going to bring up Chandler Rogers, who singled twice and walked in the ball game. Again, Johnson getting a lot of support from the dugout here. Wanting to see him finish it off here. High, 1-1 to count. Johnson looks in, now fires. That one is high. 2-1 the count. Again, we're at the bottom of the 9th here. Nobody out, 1 on. Darton in control of this one, 18-1. We've been here almost 2 hours and 50 minutes with you. That one is high. 3-1 to count. High noon first pitch, almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That pitch is low, and it's a walk. So the second base on ball in a row here for Trey Johnson. And that's going to bring up Cameron Coffey, who's hitless in the ball game. Two on, nobody out here. That pitch is in there for a strike to Coffey, 0-1. Again, Darton has scored in 7 of the 9 innings here. They have been dominant from the start, 5 in the first. Poke to center field. Center fielder on the run, makes the catch. They throw it to second. They get the double play. The runner at second just went to third, and he was caught way off the bag. So 2 outs here for Chandler. So number 25, Michael Flores, will come to the plate, the first baseman, and he did a really classy thing at the end of the last inning. Shook the hand of the umpires and gave him a shout-out as he went by, the sophomore. And that one is hit for a base hit. So Flores with a single, his second of the ball game. Runner goes to third, so first and third here with 2 outs. So Zach refused with 2 outs. Runners at first and third. And Darton now 1 out away from being the champions. And the number 1 seed in next week's district tournament here at Darton State College. That pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 to count. Breaking pitch in there for a strike, 0-2. They're about ready to bust out of the dugout underneath us here. 0-2 pitch from Johnson. Fouled at the plate. We'll do it all again. Refuse back in there. Johnson now steps off the rubber, steps back on it. The pitch. Grounded foul over to third base. So it's still 0-2 here. Again, Cavaliers will be the champions, regular season and tournament champs, number 1 seed. South Georgia will play next week as a number 2 seed. That pitch is hit to the right field, and that's going to get foul out of play. So that's just a noisy pitch. So refuse. The pitch to the third baseman. He snags it. Short way to second. And that's your ball game, folks. They're jumping here at Darton. 18-1 is your final. The mosh pit is in action here between first base dugout and the pitcher's mound. Darton Cavaliers are the champions here as they win this one 18-1 over South Georgia State. It was a dominant performance all the way. 18-17-2 for Darton, 1-9-2 for South Georgia State. Again, Cavaliers are your champions, and they will play next week as the number 1 seed in the district tournament. For Commissioner David Elder, technical engineer James Crenshaw, our cameraman Jimmy, this is Mike Flowers. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Cavaliers are your champions. This is the GCAA Sports Network, powered by Jock Jive.